Welcome to Southern Orthopedic PrepZone Game Time, driven by Carl Cannon.
Hey everybody, welcome in. Jame Phillips here. Mask on today because I had a fever yesterday and coughing, and one of these two guys didn't want to sit by me without a mask. It's this one. Johnathan Bentley and Brian Hale with me. Game of the week time. It's DME PrepZone. DME PrepZone Game Time. Sumiton Christian. They're hosting number 7 Valley Head, and it's got a lot of playoff implications, right?
Yeah, actually, who would think we'd be in this spot after last year? Sumiton Christian won 1 game last year.
Right.
We thought that'd be better, but they're already in the playoffs is great.
Yeah.
But this will be a huge win.
Well, East Walker football has been much better, and it's usually the county goes kind of as they go. It's always better if Dora and Sumiton Christian are a better team.
That's what's a shame about Dora having to forfeit those last 2 games.
Yeah. Well, Brian, you spent a lot of time at Sumiton this week. What's the kind of the feel on campus there?
Well, obviously a lot of excitement, a lot of enthusiasm. First playoff berth has been clinched since 2016. This game basically is a determination of whether or not you travel to Pickens County if you're a third-place team, or if you travel to nearby Berry if you're a fourth-place team. Obviously, they're shooting to unseat number 7 and travel to Pickens County, but one way or the other, the excitement is there because they're back in the playoffs.
Right. Johnathan, you've had a chance to see Sumiton Christian this year. What's the difference between years past and now?
Well, a big part of it was dropping to 1A, where
Right.
they're competitive, comparable to these teams. I mean, 2A, they were in a tough spot last year.
Right.
Now, Coach Powell, they're where they need to be. And they've competed with everybody, even the games they've lost. And if they could have pulled out one more of these, I mean, they're really close to hosting a first-round game. That's how good they were this year. But the competition and these kids know his system now. They're a year in, and I expect them, as long as they're 1A, they're going to be competitive. They're going to be a playoff team.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Brian, one kid who's really stood out this year, he's been our player of the week one time, is Eli Moon. And you had a chance to go talk to him and his dad. His dad is a assistant coach on the team. What has he brought to the team this year that we haven't seen in the past from him?
Well, there's a versatility to him. He can not only play running back, which a lot of times he lines up and running back. He's also good at throwing the ball, going out on a little out route patterns. He's great at that. And on defense, he provides some good protection in the secondary. So Eli all around is a very vital component and just kind of helps connect things around him.
Right. Well, let's see Brian's interview now with the Moon family.
Jeremy, what's it been like for you coaching Eli for years with the lessons, with everything that you've taught him, to see it come to fruition with him being one of the top rushers in the area, constantly in on solid plays, being a good contributor to the team?
It's been a blessing to be able to be involved with him all these years on youth teams all the way up to high school. And we really appreciate the opportunity here at Sumiton Christian. This is my home area, so I'm glad to be back home. And to see him be able to do that week in, week out with his teammates and them do such a good job as a unit and allow the turnaround to take place. It's been just a great experience. You know, all the credit goes to the kids and the way they've bought in and made an effort to turn this thing around. Anytime you're changing a program, it's not something that's going to change abruptly. It's like turning a big vessel. It's going to take small turns, a little at a time to get the thing turned around. And like I said, it's just a blessing to be a part of it.
Eli, with having your dad as a coach, has it helped you with your understanding of the plays as well as making it easier to communicate with the coaching staff, with your dad being a member of it?
Yes, sir, it definitely has. And maybe more so than that, it's helped me to stay motivated in times when, we didn't start out winning the way we have been lately. And there was one game specifically, it was Galesville. Pretty big win for us. I think it was our first region win. I could be wrong, but I think it was. I started out with a really bad migraine and didn't think I'd be able to play that game. Thought I might have to sub in late or something. And he just kind of definitely didn't want to. Probably wouldn't have if it was up to me, but kind of encouraged me and pushed me to just give it all I could, and ended up getting a pick late in the game that kind of sealed the win for us. And it's one of my favorite moments from this season.
Do you take a step back from the game when you get home, or do you sometimes want to ask him, what about this, what about that? Are you a diligent worker like that, or do you step away once you get off the practice field?
I would say it's pretty healthy combination of both. We talk football a good bit. Just we like to make sure we're on top of everything, as well as just like we both enjoy it a lot. But it's not our lives. So we have a lot of other things that we talk about as well.
We try not to let it consume our lives. We do go over some details and maybe some things to clean up about on game film, things like that. But we also more or less talk about music or college teams and things like that. I just never wanted my kids, my older son played here as well. Mm-hmm. I never want them to get burned out. I never want them to think that it's a burden rather than something they can enjoy.
How much fun are you guys having this year together, father-son, coach-player, versus the struggles of last year? How much fun are you having this year?
I mean, there were moments of fun last year, but anytime you can see things start to click, not just for Eli, but for the whole team, when you can start to see them really buy in and start to have a passion about what they're doing and really give every bit of energy and effort they have in practice and in games, and you see them start to reap the rewards of that, it's great to be a first-hand witness of that. And I can't say enough about the kids, not just Eli. Eli's had some great moments, but all of them have done such a great job really concentrating on doing their job specifically, and then seeing it translate to having success as a group has been remarkable.
What's been some of your favorite moments together as father and son, coach and player, that stands out to you?
Obviously, there's some this year, but he had some great plays his freshman year here on the defensive side of the ball and showed a lot of promise and potential. And then obviously this year he had the breakout game against Cherokee and nearly hit 200 yards and 4 touchdowns. And that was great to be an eyewitness to. But what stands out to me was something that happened when he was an 8-year-old quarterback on a 9- and 10-year-old team, and James was helping me coach that team. He got a big shot to the chin from a much larger player that was around 10 years old, I guess. Came over to the sideline and immediately had a big purple goose egg that looked like one of those plastic purple Easter eggs, and begged to stay in the game. And although it wasn't a touchdown pass or touchdown run or big tackle, that's something that stood out because right then I knew, hey, this kid is a gamer and he's a leader. And that's just something that you can't coach. It's just inherent. I mean, you can't buy it, you can't coach it.
What's some of your favorite memories throughout the year with being a player underneath your dad as a coach, be it all the way from when he was coaching you in Toy Bowl all the way up to now here at Sumiton Christian at the high school level? What's some of your favorite memories that you've had together?
Well, it's been a good bit. Back in Toy Bowl, we had several. There was one drive against, I want to say Cold Springs, when I was playing for Union Chapel. We were down by a good bit. There was pretty much no way we could win, but I forced a fumble on like the 1-yard line, took it 99 yards in 3 plays and scored, and we still got absolutely destroyed. But we're all just so happy for that game. And then I got to play with my brother my freshman year up here, and even though the season didn't go as we would have wanted it to, we won only a game. That was like a dream, just being on the same field at the same time. And now finally winning games, which is something that for this season we weren't really used to. It's like it's all kind of paid off.
That's actually my last question. How much fun are you guys having this year? Especially having your dad alongside, where y'all are enjoying that moment together with all your teammates. How much fun do you have?
Yeah, this season's been a lot of fun. Just finally seeing all our hard work pay off, and these guys around me were on the team last year where we fought really hard just to get that one win, and that was a great season. We had a lot of good moments, but seeing all that hard work pay off, like I said, and finally getting to be a respected team and not be the team that everybody is happy to play because it's a free win, stuff like that. It's been a huge confidence booster. We've all been real happy.
Welcome in, everybody. Jame Phillips here. It's a late night at the Desert Mountain Eagle studio. Brian Hale, how's it going, man? And comes out with a 1-point double overtime win, 35-34. The Vikings remain undefeated.
One of the assistants told me I think they're 5 points away from being 4-1.
Corner just completely turned, bro. And they came out in the second half. They scored 20 points on 5 plays.
Cordova makes the playoffs. Who would have thought in week 5 that we would have said the Cordova Blue Devils are going to reel off 4 straight wins and clinch a playoff berth?
Well, I just think the first half was really Harmon Hill got after. I mean, they were playing with a little bit more effort and toughness, and
just glad to catch it. Good, it was a good throw. Won the game.
All right, we're back. Jame Phillips here, Johnathan Bentley, Brian Hale. It's DME PrepZone Game Time. Sumiton Christian's who we're talking about this week. But let's shift into our Player of the Week for each week. I'm going to talk to Johnathan first because you actually went and talked to our Player of the Week. Spencer Rosenfeld comes back 2 weeks ago. He's really rusty in that first game against Jackson Olin. And then last week showed what he can do in that Jasper offense against Mortimer Jordan. What did you think about Spencer and the way he bounced back from a really bad ankle injury?
I mean, we're all glad to see it. You know, he gets hurt early in the season. Looks like it's a lost season for him. He comes back, struggles. Now, Mortimer Jordan, I mean, at halftime, it looked like that was going to be another loss probably.
Oh, yeah.
And then he lit it up. They finally got something to be excited about. And it's the future also.
Right. It's
so
just a 10th grader.
Yeah, I mean, we got years of this guy coming up. And it was a sign of things to come, I believe.
Yeah.
And they also ran the ball well. He ran it well. He threw it well. It's just an all-around game for him.
Yeah.
And they needed it.
He was, I think, 13 for 16, threw for 180 yards, and ran for 111 yards and a couple touchdowns. And Coach Bailey said he really grew up on the Coach Bailey show this week, that he grew up from the first half to the second half.
Yeah, and I think it was overall it's 294 multi-purpose yards.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was incredible. And, I mean, when you have somebody in there that's contributing like that, especially when you're missing a quarterback until he comes back, it's huge.
Right. Well, let's see Brian's interview with our Player of the Week, Spencer Rosenfeld.
The big story of this past week, the Jasper Vikings broke a 6-game losing streak and recorded their first region win in a 36-21 victory. Our Player of the Week was very pivotal in it. He amassed 294 yards of total offense, completing 13 of 16 passing for 183 yards. He also ran for 111 yards on 15 carries with 2 touchdowns to earn our WJLX and DME PrepZone Honor Player of the Week. He scored on runs of 31 yards, 3 yards, and he also made a 2-point conversion as part of the 29-point victory in the second half. Ladies and gentlemen, your Player of the Week, Spencer Rosenfeld. Spencer, congratulations. We talked to Brody Vincent last week about the adversity you all have went through as a team, from COVID to the Easter storms damaging your facilities, also the classification change. You yourself have been through the adversity with having to come back from an injury. How big was this victory for you coming back just a couple of weeks ago and being a part of this?
It was big on I mean, the whole team knows it's big. I mean, losing their starting quarterback is kind of hard. And I don't know. I just feel like we actually played as a team.
How fun was it to be part of a 29-point comeback there in the second quarter where it just seemed like you guys just took control and couldn't be stopped?
It was fun. I mean, we haven't done that since last year. And, I mean, Mason, heck of a player, had a heck of a game. 3 touchdowns. I mean, me and him in the backfield, the offensive line was doing great. Everybody was working together. It's just a great game.
Yeah, and speaking on Mason and your offensive line, together with your wide receivers, what do those guys mean to you each and every week to have those guys have you back?
It's like my brothers. You lose a brother because of an injury. It's kind of hard.
Well, congratulations once again, Spencer. Best of luck against Pinson Valley this week, and congratulations. We'll be right back.
Southern Orthopedic Prep Zone Game Time, driven by Carl Cannon. Presented by Kilgore Green Funeral Home, Nelson, Bryan and Cross, Bank of Walker County, Jasper Main Street, Southern Orthopedic, and Carl Cannon.
Hey, welcome back in, guys. You saw there Spencer Rosenfeld, 10th grader. Wasn't afraid of the camera too bad, though, right?
No, not at all.
Yeah, so that's good. Good to get those young guys on, and man, he had a great game and really injected some excitement over these last few weeks for Jasper. Going back to Sumiton Christian now, one guy that caught our attention at Media Day was Christian Hatch. Now, we didn't know anything about Christian Hatch, how he played on the field much, but his haircut stood out. And so Christian walked in with a mullet. He had Dale Earnhardt's number on one side and Chevy emblem on another side. So that kind of, what did you think when you first saw it?
You knew this guy was a character.
Right,
you know?
yeah.
And it's always good to have those.
Right.
It's good to have them on your team. It's good for us to cover them, you know. It's just lighthearted.
Yeah.
And it's good to have that.
Right.
You know, because a lot of times you don't have that.
Right. Well, and the haircut fits within Sumiton Christian's hair policies, too.
Well, all I can tell you is, guys at Media Days, when Aquaman came up, by the way, that's the nickname, he's approved it.
Right.
When Aquaman came up and delighted us with his personality and his mullet and everything, first thing I said is, I want that kid for a feature.
Right.
Because it's going to be good. But on the field, he's electric.
Yeah.
He's got strength. He's got pursuit. He's a lot of times in the backfield disrupting quarterbacks. This is not just a team showman. This guy brings it every single week.
Yeah, well, and early in his career, he was a very undersized lineman. And then he's a swimmer. He does, so that's where the Aquaman name comes from. He's a good swimmer. But let's go hear from Christian Hatch about his mullet and a little bit more.
Okay, first and foremost, let's talk about the mullet. It's got to be your trademark. So talk about how you decided that's you wanted to grow out a mullet, have it styled, and some of the designs and things that you've had put in it. So talk about the mullet for a second.
I mean, all my friends, they call me Mullet Man now. So, I mean, I got one, everyone liked it, so I just kept on with it. And then Napoleon's 2 and Jasper, I found out that they could do designs. So my first one was an American flag and a Chevy emblem. And then it just went on from there. So now you might be able to see it, but I got 22 on both sides now for last game. But, I mean, it's really just... that's how it is.
Now we saw you during Media Day. You had Dale Earnhardt's, I believe, on Media Day. So do you once a month you change stuff up? Is it once every couple of weeks?
It's pretty much once a month. I'll just think of something else to put in there, and I'll get them to put it in there. And then if I like it, I'll stick with. I like the Chevy one, so I stuck with it for a long time. But I thought about 22 just because it's homecoming now, so. It's my last homecoming, so I was going to try and make a statement.
You're also a member of the Sumiton Christian swim team. As a matter of fact, you're the only member. Talk just a moment about swimming, what drew you to join that, and what's it like being part of a one-member team?
Swim's actually, that's my number one sport. Been swimming for 12 years. I started with the Jasper swim team, the Park and Rec League, and then I finally was able to build one at Sumiton Christian. Last year we swam for Sumiton Christian. I got 7th overall in 1 through 5A. I won my sectionals and won, it's like regionals somewhat, but I won that and I came 7th overall in 1 through 5A. But yeah, I started swimming 12 years ago. My dad, he was actually in a real bad accident, and like time just went on and he had to do water therapy. Well, they would never let me in the water with him. I mean, I tried and they wouldn't let me in there with him, so Dad signed me up for swim team. And I mean, he put me in pre-swim. I liked it, swim team, and it just built up for there. So whenever I swim, it's really not swimming for me, it's really swimming for him. Mm-hmm. So that's what's pushed me to swim as much as I have. And that's what started the Sumiton Christian swim team.
Okay, inquiring minds want to know, the mullet, is it hydrodynamic? Does it allow you to glide through the water easier?
Exactly, it just flows off the sides and has a little drag in the back, like a lure, I guess how you could say it.
We've nicknamed you Aquaman because of, obviously, your ties into swimming, but also you have that pursuit speed. You have that strength to bring down the tacklers. On defense this year, you guys have kind of pinned your ears back and been getting that good penetration. What's the big difference this year defensively that you guys have used to catapult on that?
Really, like, I'll take the defensive line like under my wing. I'm the senior on the defensive line, so I'm taking them under my wing, and I just told them, like, this year we've got to be powerful. We've got to explode. Like, I guess you could say we're playing more physical now, but I mean, I'm really proud of our D-line. We're in the backfield almost every play. So, I mean, we've got a ton of pressures under our belt. We got a good bit of sacks under our belt, so I'm really proud of them. And I mean, what really drove us to it is just being more physical, and like, quarterback's the key. Get to the quarterback.
You are senior. You've been here through thick and thin, and that's absolutely thick and thin. You guys went through a couple of 1-9 seasons, and now you kind of control your own destiny with this game Friday night with Valley Head, where you could potentially advance to 3rd or finish 4th, but you guys are back in the playoff. How has this been like to end your senior year with a playoff berth after years of kind of slumping through it?
I never heard of basically any of these teams, but I mean, if you go 2 1-9 seasons back to back, I mean, you really don't think that you're going to the playoffs the next season. So I really went into this season not thinking that much about it. First game, it was 20-8, Victor Christian. So I mean, I was like, well, whatever. But then coach really got on our tails, like, all right, we have a great chance this season. Like, I want y'all to watch some of this film. We started watching other players, and we're like, well, I mean, maybe we could have a chance. So we had 1 win under our belt. We're like, okay, we did that last year. Another win came under our belt, and all right, that feels pretty good. Another, and I mean, now we don't want to lose. Like, losing hurts more than it ever has. So really, coaches put a fire in our belts, saying, like, you know, we've really got a shot. Now that we're going to the first round, it's like reality's kind of hitting now. Like, it's about to be over.
And last question. Obviously, you've been involved with a lot of them, but what's the funniest memory that you have throughout your time here at Sumiton Christian? What's one of the funniest that you look back on your senior year throughout the years and you still get a laugh from it?
All right, so every time we win, Coach does this special little dance. So we get the players, we'll line up on both sides, and he does, you know how Auburn, how their drum majors come out with like the sticks or whatever, and they come in high stepping. Well, that's what Coach does every time we win. So that's what gets us the most hype, the most laugh. That's probably going to be the best.
And Coach Powell does this.
Coach Powell does do this.
We're going to have to get that.
That's right.
Thank you so much, man.
No problem, y'all. Thank y'all.
All right, we're back. Brian, did you have fun talking to Christian Hotch?
Yes, and Coach David Powell dancing.
Wow.
There's some way we've got to get our hands on that video.
On some footage, yeah.
We've got to give it. Coach Jeremy Moon showed us some of it. We've got to get our hands on it because I've got to see him cranked up and with the moves.
You know, I think we can make that happen, Tom.
Yeah, I think so.
Coach Moon owes me a favor or two. I think I can call that one in.
Oh, yeah.
We go back to high school days. So.
Yeah, I know it.
Okay, it's our picks this week. I don't think we're going to have a whole lot different this week. I think we've got some pretty similar picks.
Yeah.
Most of the games are pretty cut and dry. Jonathan, you've got the list over there. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to DMEPrepZone.com. We have not shamelessly plugged it yet. Everybody else should go to DMEPrepZone.com. All the profiles and previews for this week is up. And you got your whole list of games. And then all night Friday night, you'll get live scoring updates. Now, we got 2 games that have been canceled this week. Actually, 3, right?
It's 4.
It's 4.
4. Oakman and Tarrant out of there.
Oakman wins.
Oakman wins. Tarrant doesn't have a team anymore. Dora and Etowah out of there. COVID for Dora. Dora loses that one.
Right.
All right. Let's see. Who else we got? We got
Carbon Hill.
Well, Carbon Hill and Winfield. Carbon Hill's got COVID issues. They're done.
Curry is the last
Curry
one.
and Gordo.
Curry and Gordo. Curry's out. So that's four games that are gone. We don't have a whole lot to talk about.
We have one Walker County team playing.
Oh, man.
Cordova. That's it.
Right. Yeah. Well, and I
know
know
teams in the county also, yeah.
Somebody
Christian
in the
Jasper.
county, Jasper, but still, it's not a lot though. Let's start out. This will be one that I think will be a fun game. Winston County travels to Aliceville. Winston County's really surprised us this year. Only 2 losses on the year. Have just been rolling up yardage with Austin Owens, but Aliceville is a perennial, kind of finals team. We got to go Aliceville, I think, but Winston County could show some things in it.
Well, I mean, I think easily the game track for Aliceville is the same thing that Addison did for Winston County. You hold Austin Owens under 100 yards. Winston County won't pass the ball.
Right. But
what do they do then?
A lot easier said than done to hold him under 100 yards for sure.
Well, I think Aliceville's got the athletes that are more than capable of doing that.
Right.
Well, Lamar County beat them at Aliceville.
Right.
Then Winston County beat Lamar County, so I don't know. I can't go against Aliceville at home.
Yeah.
I think that Lamar County game was just an outlier.
Right. Well, and that was kind of my thought. If it was in Double Springs, I might give Winston County a little more. I may have picked them in Double Springs because they're dangerous in Double Springs. Meek at Berry. Berry is a ranked team. They're going to walk all over Meek. We're going all in. Berry? Okay.
Yeah.
Meek's improved, though.
Berry has really improved. They
have,
were like a 3 or 4 win team last year.
Yeah.
It's one of those 1A things where you just come up out of nowhere.
Right. Get a
Like
set of
Brilliant.
athletes in. Yeah, Brilliant this year. Hubbardsville at Lynn. We're all going Hubbardsville?
Yeah, they're too stable. I mean,
Yeah.
you know what you're going to get with Hubbardsville, and they've been performing well this year.
Well, and Lynn just has kind of been up and down, but they've really struggled against better competition, and so I think that's why Hubbardsville's going to take that one. Here's an interesting game, Corner at Center Point. What you guys think on that one?
I give the slight edge to Center Point on this. Maybe it's home field, or maybe it's just that they've just proven they're just a slight tad bit better at this point right now than Corner. Corner did have a good run there, but Leeds kind of dulled it. I don't see them coming back this week after the Leeds loss.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, this is a big game for Corner. They need it. They can still back their way in the playoffs, according to what happens to Hayden, but if they win this game, boom, they're in.
Right.
It's that simple.
Yeah, so they kind of control their own destiny
But
here.
I went center point.
Yeah, I'm going center
on the road.
point too. I think center point's going to be more aggressive. I think they're going to be they're going to be after corner, and center point will come away with a win. How about you talked about it? It's the only Walker County school play in Fairfield at Cordova. Fairfield is not lighting the world on fire, but Cordova's kind of struggled. They're still moving the ball, scoring a lot on offense. You saw them last week. What do you think on this one, Hale?
Well, I think Cody Hedrick, his wide receiving core, will put up good numbers this week. But unfortunately, I see this ending as Cordova going winless in region play.
Right. It's a tough region for Cordova. Their first time ever in 5A to go up and be playing all these Birmingham schools. It's a tough go for them.
Yeah, they got no favors by the state on that.
Yeah.
No.
A lot of new teams on the schedule. But, this will probably be close.
Yeah.
Maybe they can pull one out finally.
I'd like to see them pull one out, but I'm picking Fairfield.
Yeah, I went Fairfield.
All right. Jasper hosting Pinson Valley. We're going to go all in on Pinson Valley, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But we can talk about it. They've got 10 guys that are going to sign Division I scholarships, and they've got the best player in the state. He goes by the name Kool-Aid. And he'll be, I think on Saturday is when he's going to announce if he's going to LSU or Alabama.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, this time last year, that might have been a decision. Right now, I don't know how much of a decision that is.
Right. Well, and they've got kids who are going all over the country to play college football. Jasper has one kid who may go to Harvard. That's a big difference in competition.
That's pretty impressive.
It's impressive.
Yeah.
But Harvard and LSU and Alabama are on different planes when it comes to athletics.
Football. Yeah.
On both of them.
Yeah.
But so come across the street, come this week, and come watch some really good players out there.
Yeah, there will be. There are going to be players that may be in the NFL soon, so it'd be a good time to go watch. And really, Jasper, if they can control the ball, they can stay in this game. And Coach Bailey said on his show, you never know if you can be in it in the fourth quarter, crazier things have happened.
Yeah, and they got some momentum finally for the first time in a while.
Right. All right, game of the week time. Valley Head, number 7 in Class 1A, undefeated in the region, traveling to Sumiton Christian. Sumiton Christian much improved. Home field advantage finally for them. They've been on the road so much this year. What do you guys think?
Well, it's going to be really close. If you look, Sumiton Christian's a couple plays here and there from they're being 7-1.
Right, yeah.
Lost to Woodville in double overtime, lost to Cedar Bluff by 2. They can win this game. Valley Head also has some really close wins. Mm-hmm. But I just took Valley Head. They know what they're doing at this point.
They've been there a little bit more than Sumiton Christian has. Brian, I know you're looking forward to going and covering the game. You'll be broadcasting it on 88.5 FM, and people can find the link on mountaneagle.com. But and you're looking forward to, they're going to give you some treats, probably some soup or something, or some wings, some food.
Free food.
Yeah, I know you're always looking forward to that, but you're looking forward to a good football game too.
Yeah, and I'm like JP with this. I think that we're potentially looking at a close game, and it would not surprise me if Sumiton Christian could pull this out, simply because their defense is really, really, really strong. They've only given up more than 14 points twice this year,
right.
And one of those was in a double overtime loss.
Yeah.
So this is consistent, and I don't know if Valley had seen that kind of defense this year, but I really think that right now the more established Valley Head is probably going to pull this out. But if this ends up in a 14-13 Sumiton Christian win, it would not surprise me either. Right. But I am going Valley Head.
Well, I really wanted to pick Sumiton Christian, but I'm with you guys. I think I've got to go with Valley Head. They're a little more proven. If Sumiton Christian had pulled off those couple close wins, it'd be much tougher to pick too. If both teams were 7-1 coming into this one, but I'm going to go Valley Head as well. But wish the Eagles the best of luck, and let's hope they pull off an upset.
They haven't lost at home yet this year.
That's true. Yeah, they haven't lost at home. All right, guys. Anything else before we go?
Maybe we'll have some cigars after this week. It's Idiot Recognition Week. Tennessee Hate Week.
Oh,
what
yes.
did I say? Idiot Recognition Week?
Yeah, it's Tennessee Hate Week. I think Alabama will pull off another win.
Oh, yeah, this will be easy.
What's the last year Tennessee won? Y'all remember?
2006.
Man.
That's pre-Saban.
Mm-hmm.
I only had 2 kids back then.
It's been a while.
I didn't have any yet.
Yeah, 2 kids, and now I've got 5. So I've got 3 kids who have not seen Tennessee beat Alabama. That's pretty good.
Well, let's just keep that going.
Yeah, we need to keep that one going.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you just a quick story before we go. I hate Tennessee more than I hate any other team. I have been to Alabama-Tennessee games. When I was a kid, I went to one and was standing in the end zone when David Palmer scored to tie the game. And the game finished in a tie, and all the Tennessee fans just threw garbage on me and my brother, and everybody else. There was Alabama fans around there. So they really are classless at this point.
You sure they didn't know it was Phillips?
They may have, yeah. So now most people just want to throw garbage at me, but it doesn't have anything to do with Alabama and Tennessee. But Rick Watson took me to that game. Oh. Rick Watson is really the reason that I'm an Alabama fan, and so I'm really missing him this football season. He passed away a few months ago. So Alabama-Tennessee totally makes me think of Rick. So if I smoke a cigar this weekend, I'm smoking it in honor of Rick.
I want some more cigars. That was fun last week.
So
I love the cigar box cigars.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they're good. I'll tell you one to get. Fat Bottom Betty.
Okay.
It's got a sweet taste to it. Big cigar. It's really good.
I'll smoke one when Auburn gets rid of Malzahn.
Oh, yeah. There we go.
Now, I forgot to ask you guys, did y'all catch an Ole Miss interception this past week?
I didn't catch one, but everybody else did.
Hopefully Auburn catches a couple.
Jeffrey caught one.
I would imagine so.
Yeah.
I think my youngest daughter caught one.
Yeah. So probably what will happen is Auburn's going to come out and beat Ole Miss, and then y'all are going to give Gus an extension and a raise.
Oh, Lord.
Well, that guy, whoever, he's been gone.
Yeah.
The dummy that gave him that extension.
Right.
That'll never happen again.
If you get rid of him this year, it's only going to cost you, what, $21 million?
Bargain now, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, maybe he'll run for Senate. All right, guys. Well, until you see me and Brian on Saturday morning for our DME PrepZone wrap-up show, for Johnathan Bentley, Brian Hale, I'm Jame Phillips. We'll see you then.